Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, we the sons of Thunder Israelites is our house prayer and desire that all Israel be saved. All right, first and foremost, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai for allowing us to do another class. All right, I'm your brother Judah. You on mute, brother.
Brother Jonathan.
All right, man. Hey, coming back with you another class, man. It's going to be a little different. We're going to do some current events. We're going to talk about some things, some Q&A at the end. It's not going to even be a long class for real. Some things going on we wanted to touch on, and then we got some things that we actually got scheduled for the coming week. So we're going to do a Q&A and a little bit of current events just to talk about some things going on. All right. Hey, we're going to shout out some people in the chat. All right. SOT Aharon. Hey, Shalom, King. Joan Gilchrist. Brother Kazaki. Shalom. Soldier Knot. Captain Israelite out there in Alabama. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. SOT Alabama. Brian Christian Greer. Carla Taylor. Soldier Nayam. Terrence Bolden. Captain Yahouda out there in Cali. Make sure you subscribe to their channel, Sons of Thunder San Francisco. Josephina, Soldier Kevon, Kadar Aharon, Warrior Micah Allah, Beverly Pleasure, Ashar Yahouda, Shalom, the Soldier Uriah, Shalom King, Mayor 2 times, Shalom, John Allen, Phineas Quam, Shalom, Captain Shaquat out there in Cali, Oliasha Allah. All right, Shalom, Xavier McLeod, Jezreel 12, Brother Salvi, Shalom, King, Soldier Boaz, DTA Twan, Shalom, King, Sister Anna Raya, sister with the Hebrew name that we can't pronounce, Shalom, Mark of Judah, Shalom, Share That Thought, Shalom, King, Sister Mina, the brother Yeshaya, Shalom, King, I think the sister Banath, Shalom, Him Stark on Demand, Shalom, King. Brother, was it not Nael? Salaki, if I messed the name up, King, but Shalom. And Earl Ben Yisrael, Shalom. What you talking about, sis? All right, King Israel, Shalom. AC, Shalom, Shalom. All praise to the Most High. All right, we're going to get into some things, man. Now, you see, we got Umar Johnson and another sister with a stiff wig on the thumbnail. All right, we're going to get into that. All right, we got the sheriff of what is it? Columbus,
Georgia.
I thought this was North Carolina, bro.
I thought it was Columbus, Georgia.
Nah, this is Columbus County, North Carolina.
Oh, maybe I heard it wrong. My fault.
Yeah. This is Columbus County, North Carolina. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna actually talk about Brett Favre a little bit. Because Esau can get away with things that we just can't get away with, dog. Like, we can't. Esau gets away with some stuff that we cannot get away with.
Right.
All right. You know I'm in North Carolina, sis. I ain't meet you in person yet. You gotta introduce yourself next time I'm in Atlanta and you come. All right. Ayasha. All right, Khan. All praises. Right? Hey, look, man. This is crazy, man. You know the hurricane came through. They're on there, wiped out Florida. Hey, man, the Most High is a terrible power, man. We got to feel the Most High, man. It ain't sugar, honey, iced tea ain't sweet out here. All right, but we're going to get on to this first. I feel like this is going to take the longest to go over.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to do better, man. You know, sisters hate the brothers hate the sisters. You know, I get on y'all sisters a lot. I do. It is what it is. It's all right. Y'all will be okay. All right. It's all out of love, man, because we got to do better, man. And a lot of our sisters have been indoctrinated with Esau's way of thinking, man. All right. So she would defecate on her man and uplift the ways of Esau. So we're going to get on this one time, because I know Jonathan going to have something to say about this one. He ain't even seen this yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right, this is sickening. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. You see my screen, King?
Yeah, Con, that's up there.
All right. So, man, look, let's go to the comments real quick. Right. Where's the one that I said earlier? Oh, man. I can't find it.
Hey, AC, hit us in the email. You might still have time. I know brothers closed down the Feast of Tabernacles RSVP at a certain point, but they may or may not have accommodations. So hit us up in the email anyway, and we'll see what happens. All right.
Okay. Hey man, if you like the class, go ahead and if you already liked the video, go ahead and hit put a 7 in the chat for us. If you've already liked the video, y'all gotta start sharing the videos as well, man. Y'all gotta start sharing the videos. Seems like Israel don't like nothing but folly. Y'all don't like nothing but folly and madness. But we gonna calm down on that a little bit as far as Thursday night live is concerned. We gonna get back into this doctrine and some lessons to build your spirit. All right, because we noticing that y'all we 150 deep when it's folly, and when there's some lessons that can quench your spirit a little bit, you know what I'm saying, or feed your spirit a little bit. Hey, maybe 49 people up there like it is right now.
That's right. You
feel what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to the people who watch us on a regular basis and get edified through these lessons. Hey man, Malak, y'all what's up, man? Shalom, King. All praise to the Most High. All right, so make sure y'all like and subscribe, share these classes, man, so that people can get edified. But we got to do better. All right, we got to do better, man. All right, hey sis, we got to get out of this westernized mindset, man. Like I said, was it 2 weeks ago on the show? I think it was 2 weeks ago, man. Hey, we love the crowns, we love the nose jewels and the round ties like the moon, like the scriptures say. You know, we love all of that. We love putting on the long garments with the fringes on it. We love all of that, right? We love all of that, but we hate doing what God says to do as it pertains to our men. We love all of that. We love everything about the culture of being an Israelite, except for the things that the westernized world or Esau says does not benefit you. We love that. All right, we got to get out of that mindset. And brothers, I was about to say something. I don't know if I should. Right? Yes, I should say that. We got to stop entertaining these types of women. We got to stop entertaining these types of women. No matter how good they look, right? No matter how many scriptures she knows, how good she may smell when she walks past you with all the perfume she put on, whatever, how fly her garment is, we got to stop entertaining these types of women. And that's what the courting process is about. But we jump straight into stuff because somebody look good and then look, we miserable. Are we mad now? You see what I'm saying? You got a baby now. You can't get away now. 18 years, like Kanye said, man. Right? Mm-hmm. You stuck because you decided to skip the process of courting. You're going straight into a relationship. Then you find out that, hey, the sister that you are courting or that you have now dealt with, that you married to, has a mindset like this sister. So we're going to get into this, man. We're going to get into this real quick. We're going to stop it a little bit here and there. And we'll do a little Q&A after we get through a little of these current events. But we got to bring this out, man. As a people, as a nation, going into our own culture, we have to lose everybody else's culture and their thought processes on what is acceptable and what is not. So let's listen.
You're the only one not being honest, Lamar. You're not being honest.
Find the clip. You don't have to argue about it. You don't have to argue about it.
You just admitted to it. We don't need to find the clip.
And you see right here, like, it's just madness. Like, they already arguing amongst each other. Hey, the sister Mina said, can I get a quick prayer? I was attacked yesterday while washing clothes. You should have seen the rednecks that was ready to attack also. All this while fasting. Y'all throw up some prayers for the sister Mina. You know, we don't do prayers live, but we will throw up some prayers for the sister Mina. I want everybody in the chat to throw up some prayers for this diligent sister. She's always in the chat, always in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Liking the videos, always supporting the brothers. All right, so we gotta definitely throw up some prayers for the sister. All right, hey man, we got put some. Hey man, throw up some curses on these damn Edomites, man, trying to attack our sister, man. Throw up some prayers that the Most High attacks them and their damn family. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Same death angel that he sent on damn Egypt. Hey man, ask the Most High to send that death angel on these damn devils that attack this sister. Right. And if any of the people that attacked this sister was Israel, pray that the Most High, you know what I'm saying, pray that they repent. Let's do that. Pray that they repent and seek the Most High. But if there's any damn heathens, man, pray for the death of these people, man. That's all we got to get down, man. All right? So let's keep going, man. We got you, sis. Let's keep going.
Against Black men. First of all, I want to see where you all stand, just by a yes or no. Dr. Umar, is there? Yes or no?
Absolutely, yes.
Hope, is there?
No.
Duan?
Now they asked, is there a war against Black men here in America? So the sister right here, she said no. Umar and this brother said yes. And we're gonna see what this witch said.
Absolutely yes.
Cynthia G, where are you on this?
The only war is the war that Black men are waging against the Black community.
So is that a yes?
So the war, the only war that's in place right now is the war that Black men have raised against the Black community. Now I'm gonna give you a little disclaimer. She don't ever mention no gangbangers in this video. She don't ever mention no coons in this video, right? She don't speak against none of that, right? But hey, the average Black man is raising war against the African American community. So you know, Malcolm X didn't exist.
None of the great Black men that did whatever they did. Marcus Garvey's. You see what I'm saying? Look, we got a lot of things to say about Martin Luther King. We disagree with a lot of stuff he taught, but guess what? That man, he did some things you weren't willing to do. He did some things your grandparents wasn't willing to do. So how you talking about Black men? That don't make no sense.
Right. Hey, so I am too busy said I'm an atheist, so to each their own. Okay, and that's on you. What did you come up here to say that for?
He came back and said Israelites speak facts. I don't know if that brother.
I was about to say, because I seen you in our chat before. So
I've seen him plenty of times.
I was about to say, what do you want? Like, what did you come back to tell us that for? Okay, yeah, you have to elaborate on that one, brother. All right, so I don't even know why you said that. Maybe that was something that I missed. All right, but elaborate on that because I want to know what you're talking about. All right, so let's keep going. All right, the only war is the war that the Black man is raising against the Black community.
Yes or no?
Yes, there is.
So there's a couple things. Number one, we have to make sure that we conduct a systems analysis and an institutional assessment. Communities are made up of institutions or the lack thereof.
Now, the brother Jonathan always speaks on the sense of community. He always speaks on what community is, right? I know good and well. The brother Mark Allen said
yeah, that's what I seen.
The chick on the top left is a man, not a woman. That's crazy. I didn't even get that vibe from her when the jury's out on that. But when I watched the video, I didn't get that vibe. That's crazy, right? Now, Big Mick, we do agree that this brother is bugged out.
Mm-hmm.
He's bugged. We've heard audio of this brother that we're not going to share here. But we've heard audio of this brother that I could not believe.
Yeah, kind of.
But that does not mean he's wrong on everything.
Correct. There you go.
We got to learn how to chew the meat and spit out the bones. Right? But do I agree with what he says the community is? I do. And Jonathan, you can tell me if he does. If you agree so far.
Yeah, kind of so far.
So far, so good. But I just want to show how there's a disconnect between the man and the woman in the Black community. So let's keep going real quick.
Number one, we have to make sure that we conduct a systems analysis and an institutional assessment. Communities are made up of institutions or the lack thereof. Communities are governed by systems or the lack thereof. Let us be very clear about something. This fratricide, this Black on Black crime that so many of our brothers are engaging in, let us remember, Irish did the same thing. Italians did the same thing. European Jews did the same thing. And in the 1930s and 1940s, the United States government decided to upgrade them to white status, and in so doing, gave the Italians control of the fire departments in the Black community, gave the Irish control of the police departments in the Black community, and gave the European Jewish immigrants control of the civil service municipal jobs that they still control in many city centers today. The point that I'm making, Tammy, is that America gave Southern European immigrants an economic stimulus package. Before they gave that economic stimulus package to Jews, Irish, and Italians, they were doing the exact same thing Black men are doing today, selling drugs, breaking the law, running in gangs, killing one another. But the government intervened and aided them. The reason Black male pathology is still going on 30, 40, 50 years later is there has been no resolution, there have been no solutions, and there have been no governmental intervention. With that being said,
so what is he saying? He's saying that these other immigrant groups that came into America, they had similar beginnings. A lot of them, they stayed in public housing. They killed people that look like themselves, right? They engaged in illegal activities. Back when the prohibition was going on, they were smuggling. You ever seen Harlem Nights? They were smuggling damn moonshine and liquor and stuff like that, man. Right? During the prohibition, they was doing illegal activities, the same stuff that our people do now. But the difference is that the government saw that and stepped in and said, yo, this is how you make it better. You give them jobs, you give them opportunity. You set up systems to help them out, right? We on the other side of that equation. They see that happening to us. They know it's happening to us, but they did the opposite. Instead of helping out, instead of putting systems in place, they did the exact opposite. They dropped guns off in your community. You see what I'm saying? They come in and infiltrate your groups, like the Crips and the Bloods and all these different gangs. They started off as good institutions in the Black community. They was protecting the Black community from the police. You see what I'm saying? If you look into the early breakdowns of gangs and stuff like that in America, especially Black gangs, they was good. They was community service type of things. But over time, they turned into what they are now because of infiltration and things like that. So I want to pull this precept out. This Psalm chapter 83, right? We pull this one out all the time. But this is chapter 83 and verse 4. Actually, I'm going to start at verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. So that crafty counsel comes in many different ways. They're not going to just come out and tell you what they're doing. They're going to make you vote for it. Then they're going to, behind the scenes, while you voting, they signing this other bill, you see what I'm saying, that you don't even know about, right? Verse 4, they said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So all these people have came together and conspired against you. So as he's breaking it down, you got the Irish that control the police departments. You got the Italians that control the damn fire departments. Everybody got a slice of the pie. Now we even go in our neighborhood today. The Arabs control what? The gas stations, the liquor store, the corner stores, right? The little smoke shops. Everybody control a part of your oppression except for you. You don't have no stake in it. You just got to live in it. All right? I yield right there.
That's right. And the brother, I'm too busy, he said, communities to stop crimes more than law enforcement. And you're right.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We can heal ourselves with these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? We can heal ourselves by following the guidelines that the Most High set, right? Give me, hold on. Let me make sure I got it right because I'll be forgetting certain precepts for some reason, right? Deuteronomy 12 and 10. I'm tripping. What in the world am I doing? Right? Because there's a certain thing that he put in there, right? No, it's 10 and 12. I always get it mixed up.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Right. He put something in there for a reason that's telling us exactly what the brother I'm too busy is saying. Go ahead.
Hey, that's right. Deuteronomy chapter 10 and 12. And now Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee but to fear the Lord thy God, and to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Keep going.
To keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good.
Come on. He gave us the law, statutes, and commandments for our good, right? The law, statutes, and commandments were given for our good. I already see it. I already know where you're going, right? I'm going to hit that afterwards, right? The law, statutes, and commandments was given for our good, right? So you would never get a Deuteronomy 28 and 54, right? If you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, that would not happen. See, people read the curses and the blessings, right? And they look at it more as an ultimatum. If you don't do this, I'm not going to do this. Like, the Most High God is not your wife, where if you don't do what I asked you to do, I'm not going to give you whatever it is, right? I'm not going to cook for you tonight if you don't do whatever. No. This is how you live a successful life. By doing this. This is the way to success. Like Esau tells you, hey, guess what? If you go to school, get good grades, get accepted to a good school, do an internship for a couple of years while you're in school, graduate with a certain GPA, then you will get a good job paying X amount of dollars.
Right.
You get that house with a nice picket fence. It's the guideline to get the lifestyle that you want. Guess what? The law, statutes, and commandments are the same thing.
That's right.
And he's telling you, if you choose not to do this, this is what's going to happen. Like your parents tell you, don't talk to strangers. Why? Because a lot of these people are bugged out. They're going to try to grab you up and do X, Y, and Z. So don't talk to strangers. When you see a stranger, walk away so you may live and not get kidnapped.
That's right.
But if you decide not to do that and talk to a stranger, you stand a great chance of getting kidnapped and killed. This is the same thing the Most High God is doing, right? This is why a lot of people, well, why would a God even do that to us? Where he's giving you the blueprint to a good life, right? Give me Joshua 1 and 8, and then I'm going to deal with what's on the screen, or what I'm going to put on the screen. This is proof of what I just said.
Joshua 1 and 8. This book of the law shall not depart from out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
You keep the book of the law in your mouth and meditate during day and night and do what it says, then you will have good success and make your way prosperous. It's the same, it all coincides with each other. But if you don't, hey, you go to school, you don't get good grades, you skip class all the time, you will not get accepted into a good university. With the way Esau has his system set up, you will be destined to always be the worker. You will never be the manager. You will never be the owner. You will always be the renter. You will never be the owner. You will always be in debt. You know what I'm saying? You will never have financial freedom if you decide to do things this way. That's how Esau's system set up. What God's system is set up, you got to keep my laws. So because this is the blueprint to a good life. If you don't, this is what happens. All right, so Humble Child said, I love you guys, but can't help but notice we never got that video on the brothers that was promised after the Modern Women vid. Let me ask you something, sister. Did you work on yourself off of that video? Because I know this is a video. This can't be a brother. If it's a brother, let me know. Did you work on yourself off that video? Don't worry about the brothers. That video takes time. Believe me, I ain't forgot about that video. That's going to take time because we get the greater condemnation because we are the teachers.
Right.
You know how much we got to put into that video? I know myself, I'm putting a lot into that, right? Because a lot of that video will be talking about me. If you want to keep it real.
Hey, and you gotta, that's another thing people kind of gloss over. But when you teach a lesson, you got to internalize it too. You see what I'm saying? So even if you got the precepts lined up, you got to internalize it before you come up here like a hypocrite teaching something that you haven't internalized yet.
Right.
So yeah, it takes time, man. That definitely takes time because that's a heavy lesson. That's gonna touch everybody.
Right. And y'all, you know, sisters got, and this shows me right here, right? It shows me right here that some sisters just want the playing field evened. You got on us, so get on y'all. How many times did you watch that video? How many times did you take the precepts out of that video and try to apply that video to your life? Or was you just sitting back like this? I'm just waiting. So I could be like, Khan in the comments. Nah, well, come on, man. All right. We're not worried about the playing field being even, right? But like he said, brothers can't come up here and be hypocrites. So we legit, bro, it take time because guess what? You start writing something, you're like, damn, that's me.
Hey, facts.
Now I gotta fix this. I can't be doing this because I gotta doggone teach this now.
Mm-hmm.
We get the great condemnation as teachers. It's not as easy as, oh, I see this that Sister Sarah is doing, and I'm just gonna write a video about Sister Sarah, and then I'm gonna let the brother slide. And two, we told y'all that we took a break on the on trial series for now. It's coming back, but we ain't want to on trial to death. And that's how stuff gets boring. All right. Now let's get back into it on what the brother was saying. Let's see how the sisters, especially the sister with the shiny petroleum jelly dip stiff wig, was talking to the brothers on the stage.
Solutions, and there have been no governmental intervention. With that being said, I'm not waiting on the government to solve the problems of Black men. We as Black men have to unite, come together, organize, and solve our own problems. Just because we can admit that the government introduced pathology into the Black community, we can still take full responsibility for ending it ourselves.
Hope, I see you nodding.
Yes, because I feel like when you can name all of these things.
Oh my God, that is a dude. I hear it in her voice. That's its voice. Right.
So eloquently and so beautifully, and yet y'all still fail at being able to do these things after years and years and years and years and years of trying.
Who is y'all? It's you, nigga. What are you talking about? You part of the Black, the problem that you say is with Black men.
Right.
You're one of the biggest problems. You're one of the biggest problems, the effeminate Black man. You're one of the biggest problems, right? That the sisters cheerlead for the most, not y'all sisters. We know y'all ain't cheering for that. In the world, those sisters be cheerleading for them type of brothers, man. You the main problem in the Black community as far as the men is concerned. You can't even accept yourself for who you are.
Right.
But we got to accept you for who you are. Start with you accepting yourself. Doggone it.
Where do we find a new solution? Or that we're fighting for Black men is the one that Black men are fighting within themselves. Is it about adjacency to whiteness? Is it about being able to assimilate to that white hand? Or is it really about the freedom of Black men in the Black family and the Black community? They want to assimilate to whatever whiteness, whatever white male privilege they can get. And that's a large part of the problem.
You trying to assimilate to being a female. You're not even qualified to be on the stage. Like,
hey,
wow.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out like why they even let this person up there. Like,
yeah, like what type of that don't even make sense. You talking about Black men are trying to assimilate? You're a Black man trying to assimilate to being a woman. You didn't figure that out, and this is why we haven't did that class yet. You see,
it's layers.
Looking like this.
It's mad layers to this, man.
Yo, you didn't think before you got up there talking about what Black men are assimilating to that you are assimilating trying to be a woman? You ain't think about that? Come on, man.
Omar, you welcomed us to the show by saying Black Power. Black Power, okay. Is there some truth to the assimilation that Black men want or perceive to want when it comes to this war being waged against you?
Well, there's definitely some truth to it, but I think that truth is also evident in Black women. Black men, many of them may choose to want a white woman, but many Black women choose to look like white women. So we have to look
he threw shots. I know she about to say something.
At ourselves, and we have to recognize that the pathology is not more of one gender than the other. That's the issue I have with conversations that seek to see who is more at fault, the Black man or the Black woman. It's not about who's more at fault. We rise together or we will perish together. The Black man cannot survive without his woman, and the Black woman cannot survive without her man. And the issue that I take with my two sisters' narrative is I hear a lot of criticism. I hear a lot of condemnation, but I don't hear any empowerment. I don't hear any solutions coming from either one of them. It appears as if that there is a hatred towards Black men by those sisters. Even when they said, why are we going back to 1960? Let's stay in 2022. That is so immature and irresponsible of a statement. As a psychologist, when a client comes into my office, the first thing I perform is a history on their depression.
Then this is about to be a good point of what this dude about to say. It's about to be a very good point. I don't agree with everything this man said. When I first got introduced to the brother when I was young in college, I was like, yeah, this is what we need, you know, a black school for black men, all of that. That sounded good. You know what I'm saying? But then when you let him talk long enough, when he came out of that suit and started wearing his hair the way he wearing it, which is fine, you know, doing no freeform locks, you know what I'm saying? And he's, you know, he got out of that suit and tie and became the Umar that we know now. And then you started getting into his belief system. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I can see how he's bugged out. But what this man is about to say makes a lot of sense. We gotta listen to this. I'm gonna run for 2 seconds.
Psychologist, when a client comes into my office, the first thing I perform is a history on their depression, a history on their suicide, a history on their anxiety. When you go see the medical doctor, he performs a history. When you go buy a home, they perform a history. When you go purchase an automobile, they perform a history on that automobile. But when we talk about the problems that affect Black males, we're supposed to look at it in a vacuum. We're not supposed to put it in a historical context. And with that being said, the language and the narrative that's coming out of the mouth of these two Black women is one that I think the white power structure would endorse, because it totally absolves them of any responsibility for the hell Black men catch in this country.
Hey, that's it. That's it right there.
Come on, man.
That's it right there. Because look, don't they do that with the critical race theory?
Yep.
Right? Critical race theory, they want to start teaching that, hey, white people are responsible for all this stuff that's going on. So y'all need to reform your actions to allow Black people to move up, right? That's kind of the idea behind critical race theory. We're going to teach the systematic racism with hopes that people will act differently in the future. But then you got a lot of pushback from Republicans, a lot of conservatives, things like that. And they're like, oh, we're never teaching that. It's like, why you don't want to teach history? Why you don't want to teach the truth?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Hey, and the thing on the top left right here was nodding its head like, yeah, that makes sense, right? Because what he was saying is, they're saying let's stay in 2022 and let's not look at what was it? What's the year we supposed to have got on them slave ships? They say
1619.
1619. Yeah. Some say 1555 all the way till now.
Right.
Let's not talk about the educational system from here all the way till now. The school to prison pipeline all the way till now. Segregation all the way till now. Right. Redlining all the way till now. Let's not talk about none of that. Right? Let's not talk about guns and drugs being dropped off in Black neighborhoods where it's forcibly made poor all the way till now. They just want to talk about 2022 and the problems that arise in 2022. And he's like, wait, how can you talk about the diagnosis but not the problem leading up to it?
Correct.
You ate pork your whole life. You have congestive heart failure now, right? And part of reversing that, because all those things can be reversed, but part of all of that is changing your diet. But your doctor don't never talk about that.
Correct.
Every time you go to the doctor, he just keeps saying, well, you have congestive heart failure. Come on.
Correct. Hey, Salakia.
Let's get into
it. He said critical race theory is theory, not facts. Critical race theory is an approach to discussing the systematic racism that happens in the country. The theory itself is not an actual theory, as in it's not facts. It's a theory, as in it's a psychological theory of how to discuss it. That's what it is. Exactly. So you can't put it and say critical race theory is not facts. That don't even make sense. All right. They teach a lot of theories in school. Don't they teach the theory of evolution?
Right.
Right? Don't they teach the Big Bang theory? They teach a lot of theories in school. They teach a theory that the universe started with a Big Bang and everything was created out of nothing. That's what they choose to teach you instead of teaching that the Most High created everything. Right?
Right,
So,
and they teach you that like it's facts. They teach you that in a book.
fact.
When
They
you're
teach it
supposed
like
to
it's
know
fact. That's right.
Right? They don't make a lick of sense. Right?
That's
There's
right.
a theory of music class.
Correct.
Right? There's a musical
Correct.
theory class. And as a musician, if you read a quarter note on the page, it's a quarter note on the page.
Correct.
If you read a 30-second note or 16th note on the page, it's a 16th note on the page.
There you go.
But they have a theory of music.
Correct. And they got political theory. So once again, it's a theory, meaning this is the way we feel that you should teach it. This is the way we feel that you should understand it. Right? It's not the same as the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory is only a theory. As in they can't prove it. Yeah, like they can't prove it. But critical race theory is not that same type of theory. I just wanted to point that out for the people.
Darwinism is a theory. Ain't Darwinism where we come from monkeys?
That's right. Darwinism.
Where we know that's a theory. You know why?
Correct.
Go
Because
to
it's still monkeys.
Go to your local zoo. You can see that's a damn theory.
Fact.
But us being hung on trees, put on slave ships, that's not a theory. That is a fact.
Correct.
The theory, once again, like the brother was saying, is how to teach what happened. So they're going to turn facts into a theory.
Correct.
Like, black people didn't come on slave ships to America as slaves and be sold on auction blocks and then forced to work from sun up to sun up as free labor. And if they didn't pick enough cotton or enough sugar cane, they were beaten.
Correct.
And their men was quartered tied to 4 horses and split in 4 different ways. They came here as indentured servants looking for work and freedom of religion because they were swinging on trees with bones to their nose in Africa. Which one sounds better? But which one is fact and which one's a theory?
Exactly.
That's all that is, man. That's all that is. All right. We got to think, man. We got to think. So like the brother Umar Johnson was saying, these two, the sister on the right and the sister on the left, the sister on the right and the thing on the left wants us to only have conversations about what is currently going on in 2022 and not how we got here. Umar is saying we can take full responsibility for why we got here, but let's not leave, you know what I'm saying, the history out. Because guess what? What did they say? If you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it.
That's right.
So if you don't know the white man is the damn devil that the Bible speaks of, and he used conspiracy, consulting together with one consent against the children of Israel to make us get in this position that we're in, to psychologically force us to keep our own selves in this position, we're going to let them do it again.
Right.
But thing one and sister with a stiff wig want to tell us, nah, y'all just waging war against your own community, and it's y'all fault. It just, come on, man. Right? Let's keep going.
Coming out of the mouth of these 2 black women is one that I think the white power structure would endorse because it totally absolves them of any responsibility for the hell black men catch in this country.
And that's true. Yeah. If you let people like this continue to just say, y'all are the problem because this, and this, and we never talk about how we got here, it is totally absolved Esau for what they did. And the Most High God said he's not going to forget that.
That's right.
Right? And I bet both of them are Christian.
Cynthia G, you did say, why are we going all the way back to 1960? There is some truth to history when it comes to evaluating anything or anyone. So what do you say to that?
I say we should go to the historical context because what I have not heard from Dr. Umar Johnson, or I think his name is Duane, Duane is what I have not heard as they're mentioning all of the things that was done to them. I haven't heard what you did in response to it. So I would like to know, what did you do in response in history other than go to the Supreme Court and petition to have access to the men's women that you're complaining and accusing of disenfranchising you? See, because
that's the stupidest question I've ever heard in my life. Now, He hit her with a dagger.
Yeah.
You cannot talk about the results and not talk about the things that led up to it.
Yeah, the cause.
Right?
Right.
You can't talk about 4 and not talk about 2 + 2 or 3 + 1. We can't do it.
Right.
Right? She said, "Oh yeah, I agree. I agree." You know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah. And this is so true. And I'm gonna get on that because this is crazy. Right now, she said, "Oh, I agree. We should go into the history," and then proceeds to ask, "What have y'all done to reverse the thing? Are you serious?" And we already said it in the beginning. We're gonna let Umar say it.
In the 1960s, what Black men were really doing, and it's been documented, many civil rights leaders have admitted to it, what Black men were doing is chasing the white man's woman.
So she knows everything else.
Yeah, I was just about to say, yo, we gotta deal with this.
Like, come on, go ahead, bro.
This is madness. But also notice that she did something. I hate when people do this. Many historians, where your source up. Like, you see what I'm saying? You can't just say that. You got to source it up now. I hope somebody fact check her on that. But regardless of that, if we pay attention to the numbers, Black marriages were way higher in the 60s than they are now. So what is she talking about? Black men were marrying Black women way more back then because, number one, damn Esau was going to come around the corner and put his boot in your back if you even whistled at Cindy. So we got sources for this. So I don't understand what the argumentation is. It just seemed like, it's like you said, it seemed like she gonna do anything she can to get Esau off. We did a class recently. All their doctrines is about saving Esau. And that's what this is, man. Even in the world, even when they not debating the Bible, they still trying to save Esau. That right there demonstrates to you the level of destruction that this man put you through.
And my thing is this: you know me, y'all know I don't care. How can you get up there with that wig and say this? How? Like,
right.
If you had a fro, you feel me? I would have been, you feel me? I would have let you slide on at least that little part.
Yeah.
Not what you're saying, but that you put on her hair. But you're complaining. You complaining about Black men in the 60s, right? Mm-hmm. Who may have had white women as side pieces, but when they were marching, they were with a Black woman.
Hey, that's right.
You complain about them chasing the man's woman that they're trying to assimilate, or the modern Black man is trying to assimilate with, right?
Right.
But you are wearing the hair of the woman that you claim that we trying to get. Have you given up and just say, "Oh, Black men just want a white woman, I'm gonna put her hair on"?
Right.
Bro, come on with that petroleum jelly dip wig.
And another thing is this. Black men that date, I brought this up already. Black men that dated white women in the 60s was very few and far between, number one.
Facts.
Very few and far between. But number two, it says more about those white women because if they would have said no, it would have been a damn no. In the 60s, it would have been a super no. She could have said no, and he wasn't even looking at her. And 50 white guys in a mob would have came and lynched the whole city, man.
Right, with damn pillowcases on.
That's what I'm saying. So what are we talking about? We really speaking more towards the white women's desire towards a Black man. We're not talking about the Black man's desire towards a white woman. We gotta let her finish though, because I want to. She digging a deep hole.
And I bet she's so respectful to Massa. I can tell. Let's keep going. Yeah, of course.
Trying to so-called stick it to him by way of going to their women, which you should have.
You stuck that wig to your head.
Been doing is trying to get liberation for yourself. What you should have been trying to do is get that foot off your neck. But see, the foot is not on you.
Yo, what's the difference? What's the difference between getting liberation for yourself and getting that foot off your neck?
There's no difference.
She said you was too busy trying to get liberation for yourself instead of trying to get that foot off your neck. Now,
what she's trying to say is, we were just worried about us and what we can get because we were trying to assimilate with the white man and get black power for men and not women. That's what she was talking about.
But see, that still don't make sense because once again, you're looking at a victim. And this is what's so funny about this. That's like a man got robbed, right? I walk up to the man and say, yo, why you ain't fight back? He like, yo, he had a gun, bro. Like, what you talking about? Nigga was gonna shoot me. Right? Salaki, the brother was gonna shoot me. Right? I'm blaming him now. Yo, you shouldn't have left the house with those type of. What are you talking about? You see what I'm saying? Even if you strap, somebody pull their strap out first, guess what? You getting robbed.
Yeah,
you getting robbed. That's what it is. They ain't about to let you pull your strap out, man. So why are you gonna come to people, black people as a whole, Hispanic people as a whole, who are not strapped, metaphorically,
right?
And blame them for getting robbed by the so-called white man? That
That's
make no sense.
A good question and a good analogy. That's a good question, right? She's one of those people that agrees with us being brought over here on slave ships, let go of out of slavery with nothing, and then told to lift ourselves up by our own bootstraps, and we are bootless people, right? But she's talking about liberating ourselves. Liberate your scalp, sis. You should have did that before you even said that. I'm not letting you get away with that. Liberate your scalp, sis.
Right.
You got all these ideas for black people. What about black women loving themselves for who they are? Right? What about that?
Right.
I'm gonna stay on you for that because you crazy.
Your neck, and the only time you recognize it being on your neck is when you want to get away with doing something that you think white men are getting away with doing. Because let's just be real, whenever we hear about this war against black men, it's usually being brought up when there's a black man like R. Kelly, Bill Cosby. We see Trey Songz going through it every.
No. Wait. She said the only time we hear about the war on black men is when people like R. Kelly, Trey Songz, and whoever, Bill Cosby, is getting caught up in the things that they're getting caught up in. Hold on. Who's Trayvon Martin? Philando Castile, Stephon Clark, Tamir Rice, Eric Garner,
Ahmaud
Arbery. My mind doesn't even let me remember all the names that I know of, or let me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Deep in my mind, I know it's retarded that I can name this many people that are unarmed black men that were killed by the police. Right?
And you can't name 3 white people.
Not at all.
You can't name 1 Asian person.
Not at all. Not at all. Right? So when we talk about the war on the black men, we're talking about R. Kelly. But I'm gonna keep it real. I watched the R. Kelly documentary, right? And my mom came in the room. I was helping my mom fix her other house. So I stayed home. I went back home for 3 months and helped my mom do it. So after working one day, I went to the crib, watching the documentary. I was mad as hell. I wasn't typing about the doggone war on black men and said free R. Kelly.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Did I think that some of them parents set their daughters up for that? Yeah, for some money. Yeah, of course. But that don't absolve that man for what he allegedly did.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And I didn't see not one brother do that. So for her to even say that is ridiculous. And like the sister Mina said, it's very unlearned for her to say that. But all these black men on the back of t-shirts, I think it might be your Howard's camp. I think it might be them. With the sign that they used to have with all the big plethora of pictures of black men that have been murdered.
Yeah.
And the pictures is this small because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
So they just put them all on the joint. But we only talk about the war on black men when it comes to R. Kelly. Are you serious?
Right. That's stupid.
That's asinine.
Hey, and check
Three
this out.
years.
Go ahead.
Check this out. I want to know this. How is anything she's saying helping our cause.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? That's another thing. A lot of people, when they speak, they irresponsible. They don't think about how what they're saying affects everybody around them. If she got a brother or she got a cousin, which I'm sure she do, right? Have a brother or a cousin that is a black man, they can't benefit from your argument. Because now not only are you letting white people off the hook, but those same white people, they don't have to make the argument. They can just point to your interview and say, see, a black woman feels the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Now they get off and they don't have to make that argument. Because if they make that argument, we can be like, yo, that's racist. You can't say that. But since you saying it, now they can pull that up and play that on Fox News. Now they can pull that up and play that on X, Y, and Z and say, see, this black woman here, she know what she's talking about. And they get away. You got to be more responsible, man. How are you helping us by making this argument? It don't make no sense. Go ahead.
Oh, man. That's right. That's right. Hey, man, get the lights up in this video, man. Get the lights up on this video. This video should have more people watching. But it don't even matter. We don't care about views. We're here for the edification of the people. All right, because we still got to do better. Let's keep going.
Songs going through it every spheres when they engage in some degeneracy, and then they're getting the consequence for it. And
every black dude I know on Facebook, when they saw that video by Aries Spears,
yeah,
and, what that allowed
Tiffany Haddish.
Was it Tiffany Haddish?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every dude I seen said that was off.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, nobody said Aries Spears don't need to go to jail for that.
And nobody said it was a war on black men. You know, we got to look out for Aries. Ain't nobody saying that, man.
Nobody said that. So you were tripping, but okay.
black men think that because they perceive white men to be getting away with crimes, they want to be able to get away with crimes as well. The reality is, Dr. Umar can sit up here and list all the different ways that the system is disenfranchising black men and black men in a victim vote. But the reality is, what he cannot tell you is what black men did in response to it, because they did nothing.
She's an idiot.
Right.
And this is why my brother Corey on Clubhouse said everybody does not need a mic.
That's right.
And I'm like, no, everybody don't need a mic because this lady's an idiot. Right? She's an idiot. I'm gonna let her finish a statement and we're gonna let Umar cut her.
Laid down and they nested under the skirt of their non-black preferences, and only to complain that whenever they commit a crime, they're not getting off like they did.
So let's find out. Dr. Umar, what have black men done?
Well, number one, again, I think that it is such a shame coming from a psychological perspective that we seek to heal our wounds as a people by relying on unprofessional testimony by individuals who have a vendetta against the opposite gender in their community. When you hear Sister Cynthia speak, you can hear a hurt and a pain and a hatred towards black men. We cannot find an effective solution to black male-female relationship issues or the oppression of black men or black women when the people at the table having the conversation have negative emotional and pathological interest in the conversation that are not.
Umar, the question wasn't about my emotional state. The question was, what did black men do in response to their disenfranchisement? Yeah, because you're trying to pathologize my emotional state, not knowing that I'm a psychologist too. But what you're not doing is telling us what black men did.
I believe he'll get there, Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar.
And I'll end it quickly, Sister Tammy. According to Mrs. Cynthia G., Dr. King was assassinated because he was doing nothing. Malcolm X was assassinated because he was doing nothing. Medgar Evers was assassinated because he was doing nothing. Fred Hampton was assassinated because he was doing nothing. That narrative that black men have done nothing to fight back against systemic oppression, not only against ourselves, but against our women, our children, our elders, and our community is absolutely ridiculous. The cemetery is filled with black men, names we know and names we don't know, who gave their life for the freedom, liberation, and emancipation of African people. How can you disrespect the history of so many black men past?
Pause that. Yo, somebody literally died so that you could be on here saying the dumb stuff you saying.
Facts.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, she really don't deserve to talk. But let's think about this for a second, real quick, before you go back to the video.
Yeah.
So she's saying that black men have done nothing. And what's interesting to me is that we know that slaves who could not read legally, they snuck around and taught themselves how to read. And through that process, they knew they could get beat or get their hands cut off or whatever, their fingers cut off, whatever, right? They could get hung. They taught themselves how to read. Then you have people like Frederick Douglass and damn Harriet Tubman leading the abolitionist movement. Like, I don't understand, bro. Like, I'm flabbergasted. Like, I don't even see how we could go any further with what she's talking about. She's finished.
Bro, she's nowhere near done. And we're not going to get into any other current events.
Out here, man.
Yeah, for real. Like, yo, we're not getting into no other current events tonight. We are maybe 10 minutes, 8 minutes and 50 seconds into this video. You know how many times we had to stop?
Right.
Think about the asinine things that are coming out of this lady's mouth. But I'm going to tell you though, this is not just this woman's mindset. You got black men that work hard and provide for their families. You can't do one thing that the sister wants you to do, and you've done nothing.
Right.
This is actual mindset amongst our sisters. This is not a class to get on our sisters, mind you, but we got to bring it out.
Correct.
This is a mindset in Israel, right? Brothers be on the corners, don't do nothing. Right? You do anything you can for your family. You can't do one thing, you've done nothing.
Right.
Right? I'm telling you, this is a mindset within our people.
Hey, that's right.
Right? What you do has been evidence. You can see it. The reason why you are no longer in the Jim Crow era is because somebody did something.
Correct.
Right? The Bible tells you that, hey, bro, once you really get down to the nitty-gritty, you see that his rust is not all the way wiped away. He remained evil. He didn't just have a change of heart. Somebody had to do something.
Right.
Right? We still getting hung on trees here and there. Believe that. But the reason why there's no Slaki, that's me step there. The reason why there's no public lynching right now is because somebody did something.
Correct.
You think Nat Turner's revolt did not do nothing?
Right.
Come on, man. The reason why you are not in segregation and drinking out of a water fountain that has no cooling system in it, you know what I'm saying? And having to eat in the back of the restaurant by the bathrooms, or not being able to eat in a certain restaurant at all.
Yeah.
It's because somebody did something. Here in Greensboro, you have these people called the Greensboro Five.
Uh-huh.
They sat at a diner.
Yep.
Where they wasn't supposed to sit and got they behinds beats. Well, I can go to any restaurant in Greensboro right now, sit where I want. You don't think that had nothing to do with it?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Shaw University, the first HBCU in the South. The last slaves were emancipated in what year?
Like 1865 or something like
1865. Guess when Shaw University was founded? 1865. Now you have North Carolina A&T,
Right.
Prairie View, St. Aug, Fayetteville State, South Carolina State, Claflin,
Yep.
FAMU. What are we talking about?
Right.
Because somebody did something.
Right.
Right? Sis, get out of that mindset where you trying to psychologically mess brothers up to feel like their efforts have gone unnoticed.
Hey, that's right. Hey, and look, let's turn that camera around and make sure none of our sisters in Israel doing that. Because some of the time sisters have they have that ability to hit that switch and make it feel like, well, you ain't really doing that. No, we doing the work. What you talking about? We doing the actual work of the Most High God, man. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing better to be doing.
Exactly.
don't let your mind go into that category as well. When your man got to go out there and hit them streets, man, a whole post or whatever he got to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And let's bring it to the real world. Now, and I'm not saying the truth ain't the real world. I'm talking about outside the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The work your man does outside the truth, whether it's daggone, he pays every bill in the house. He pays the rent. He pays for your car note, whatever it may be that your husband does.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get that mindset where you're trying to psychologically mess him up so he can do exactly that's what she's doing. She's playing mind games.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a mind game to make the man feel like he's less than what he is, and he's done nothing.
Correct.
And she says she's a psychologist, meaning that she must be an intelligent sister. But you in your emotions forgot about Marcus Garvey, Fred Hampton, who died at 22 years old. Fred Hampton.
That's right.
Like, are you serious?
He was drugged and then shot in his sleep while he was drugged.
Come on, that was an execution.
Yeah. That's right.
Martin Luther King died at 30, what? Something.
Like, 37 or something like that.
Bro, come on. Are you serious? What's that dude, Grandmaster Jay, who recently just got thrown up under the jail?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, come on, man. Come on. And brothers, don't even let that rock either, all right? The sister said, what did Aries do? Because I never heard anything about it. You want to get into that real quick?
Yeah, just briefly, just because she asked the question and we talking about current events. So basically, Aries Spears came out. He was talking about Lizzo, right? He did a sit-down interview. He was talking about Lizzo. He said she looked like the ish emoji. And he said she looked like a plate of mashed potatoes. He was going in on her ass, right? And so a couple days after that, I'm not saying it's connected. A couple days after that, they found an 8-year-old video, 7 to 8-year-old video of him and Tiffany Haddish doing a skit. In this skit, they have a little child in there that's not all the way dressed. The child is purportedly Tiffany Haddish's godchild.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so Tiffany Haddish had access to the child. So she brought the child over there. They recorded this skit.
He was 7.
In the skit, Aries Spears is supposed to be like a predator. He's supposed to be like a child molester or whatever the hell type of junk. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea. Number one, who thought this was a good idea? You see what I'm saying? Because the nigga would have had to get his ass beat just to ask for my kid to do that, right? But so he come up and then he's like, oh well, you know, so he got a newspaper. He's like, oh, you know, I take care of the kid or whatever. Tiffany Haddish drops the kid off. He goes. He got a newspaper with holes in it. He looking at the kid the whole time, and the kid, like I said, don't have no clothes on. At one point in the video, he's putting lotion on the kid. The kid putting lotion on him. It get worse. They in the tub together. Yo, it was crazy. It was madness.
The kid has no whitey's on.
I know why people mad. I'm mad with you.
Right.
I do think it's strange. that video just now coming out. But at the end of the day, they should have never done no bugged out stuff like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that joint was wild, boy. That joint was wild. The kid was 7. The kid is 15 now. And reportedly, Tiffany Haddish actually, because the kid's sister actually is the one who sued Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears. And Tiffany Haddish, quote unquote, coached her on how to please men in certain ways in order to get certain roles and get in the show business. Which is why I say I don't feel like it's far-fetched to think that the parents of those young girls that was at R. Kelly house was not coached as well.
Right.
I don't give a damn who you are. You not having access to my daughter just
That's right.
out of nowhere.
That's right.
Without me being present.
Correct.
It's not going to happen. But that's what happened with that. All right, let's keep going, man. That joint was wild. I was driving, almost crashing my car when I watched that little video.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
How can you disrespect the history of so many black men, past and present, who continue to fight? I'm sitting in a school right now that we built with all black money. 4 buildings that we're going to educate black men in. It's not easy to solve our problems because there's always Black people in your very same community who's fighting against what you're trying to do to help it. But in addition to that, the white power structure is always waving its wand of oppression to try to sabotage anything we do. I think that the analysis of our women.
You have something?
Nah, I'm just nodding my head.
Oh, I thought you said something, Salaki.
Is too overly simplistic, and in being such, it is dishonest.
But they've done so much. You've only listed names and not accomplishments, though.
Are you?
Yo, she wild, bro.
Oh my God, yo.
She a wild one.
Retarded.
And she said she is a psychologist.
Yes.
They'll let anybody get that license, man.
And yo, sisters, I'm gonna tell you something about us brothers. I'm gonna tell you something. We hate when y'all do this. We hate when y'all do this. This is when you have been a fact has been presented, and you forget all of that and say something off the chain just to disannul all of it. Mm-hmm. You've listed names and not accomplishments. Let me ask you something, sis. How do we know their names if they didn't accomplish something? Stupid. Like, bro, are you serious?
That's
so
bad.
Martin Luther King's name is known. This man died when there was still black and white TVs and black and white cameras. Mm-hmm. Right? He died way back then. We still learn about this man to this day. Because he accomplished nothing. There's a lot of people that accomplished nothing and we don't know who they are. You know why? Because they didn't accomplish nothing.
Right.
Nat Turner, we know his name because he accomplished nothing. Marcus Garvey, we know his name because he accomplished nothing. Fred Hampton, we know his name because he accomplished nothing. Are you serious?
Right.
Thank you. And what does all these men have in common?
That's right. They was assassinated.
She said, thank you because you listed names and not accomplishments.
Hey, I don't care what nobody say. Muhammad Ali should be on that list.
You feel me?
Muhammad Ali should be on that list. I don't care what nobody say. I'm going to go down in the history books with this one. But that Parkinson's with Muhammad Ali was not no accident. Because this man was on TV beating up white folks and then talking shit to them afterwards.
And bobbing and weaving.
Afterwards. It's like, yo, who is this guy? Then he was unapologetic. So they did something to him too. So the only thing we're trying to tell you is that no matter what we do, it's always an obstacle in the way because this place was built on our obstacles. It was built on our obstacle. The only way for that to stop, this whole place got to go down, man. That's it.
Go. It gotta go. The daggone mindset of this sister is something in that petroleum jelly she did that wig on. I'm telling you, bro. Would have had her regular hair out, she wouldn't even think about that, bro.
Yo, she might
braids under that thing is too tight. Cause this don't make no sense. Like, are you bro? The reason why you can ride a bus, right, and not be segregated against while riding a bus is because of the work of Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. We know their name because they did something.
Correct.
Right? We know the name of the sister who desegregated schools because as a young girl, she was tough enough to do something. Right? We know the name of Malcolm X because he did something. We don't know your name because you don't do nothing.
Hey, in fact, yo, that's funny. She don't do nothing, but she telling us black men don't do nothing.
Bro, case in point, because you know I be making these thumbnails.
Uh-huh.
You feel what I'm saying? So I went on Google. I went on Google. All right. And I'm gonna show y'all something. You know, we're gonna go there. I went on Google and I typed in the sister name. Her name is Cynthia G. Look at all these people.
Hey, that's funny. All of them white.
And then look at her stiff wig. You gotta go through all these people before you get to her.
Dang.
Gotta go through all these people. Look at this. Gotta go through all these people.
Hey, now let's do an experiment. Let's type in one of these nobodies who didn't do nothing, right? And let's see what the internet say about them.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Good night. Yo, Fred Hampton, hey, this is one of my favorite people in the history of Earth. Fred Hampton was he was on his way, or he was made the spokesman of the Chicago chapter of the Black Panther Party. So before I got in the truth, I was like all the way in on the Black Panther Party. I was like reading all the books, all that. And Fred Hampton, at the age of 21, he did more than what some of us ever gonna do. I'm just saying it.
That's a fact. Because when I found out he was so young when he died, I'm like, damn, I'm 29. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I ain't did nothing yet. Like, yo, we gotta do something. Then I had to think, you know, we in this truth. Most I put it on our spirit to do the work of the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, but these brothers was trying to figure it out.
That's right.
By any means necessary. Let's do another no name. Somebody put something in the chat. Give me a no name in the chat. Give me a name that didn't do no accomplishments that we can look up. Oh, Huey Newton. Okay. Let's see. Right? Oh, Slocky. Let's see if this no name. Let me tell you, Huey Newton's pop up. Oh, Let me see how many no names pop up before we get to him.
Right.
Oh wait, I see pictures of the brother.
Right.
Oh,
and please don't go on his resume. Please don't look at his resume.
Oh my Lord, I see white people holding up Huey Newton signs. I think my point is proven, man.
Hey, yo, they study. Yo, this was heavy too. You got brothers like Nas, he a rapper. You got brothers like Jay-Z, he a rapper. They do courses. They do, like, when they do literature courses in college, sometimes they will go into modern day rap songs to break down the literature. And they recently did one at Princeton University. They did one at Harvard for Nas. Michael Eric Dyson wrote a whole book on the Illmatic album. You see what I'm saying? Are people doing more? Yo, we do more in 5 minutes than these other nations doing. Let's keep it real.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? You got Hispanic brothers and sisters that's on this list. You got Cuban brothers and sisters that's on this list. You got Nigerians. I just bought a book the other day by a dude named Chinua Achebe, right?
Yeah, I read his books in school.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we got Nigerian Israelites who doing this thing, man. So what are you talking about?
Hey, man. Hey, I didn't even know this is a name, but I love her speeches.
Yeah, Fannie Lou.
She said, America is dipped, that flag is dipped in the blood of the slave. Bro, you got to listen to that.
Yeah.
Have you mad, man?
Hey, that's right.
Look at all these no names. Right? Look at all these no names that did nothing.
Right.
We look you up, we see 10 white women, and then we see your wig.
Right, and you almost couldn't find her. If you just glance at those pictures, you couldn't find her because she blends right in.
Facts. I ain't want to bear false witness, but I was about to be like, yo, I don't see her.
Right.
You feel me? Man, let's go back into it, man. Get out of here, bro. Should have put you on trial. They should have put you on trial. Should have put you on trial. You got lucky. If Israel would have seen on trial in front of this title with your name on it and your wig,
oh yeah,
bro, I should have put Vaseline dipped wig on trial. We would have people in here.
Plastic wig on trial. That's right.
Right. Get out of here.
Okay, we come down to it. What have black men done since the 60s? We've turned around and we're still inventing things. We still open up businesses. Here in LA, you got black businesses all around town. So when black men do build things, and we build things on an individual basis, you're not going to see an NBC special about what the great black man built. When Irv Gotti, Suge Knight, and Jay Prince tried to put together a distribution, they all got charges the next week. So it's not like we don't build things. When we do build things, something always ends up seeming to happening. And in spite of that, you've seen the most black business male ownership that's gone up in the last 60 years since the coronavirus. We still doing it. I personally got 3 businesses, so I don't know what you're talking about. I employ young black men. I've helped thousands of black children here in South Central LA. So all this black men ain't doing nothing. Where are you kicking it at?
So how are you?
Now, yeah, where are you kicking it at? That's a good good question. Because guess what? All I had to do was type in accomplishments of no names, aka black leaders. Watch this. Milestones of the civil rights movement. Watch this. The Supreme Court declares bus segregation unconstitutional, 1956. Right? I don't care about no daggone presidential campaign because we shouldn't have been doing that. The desegregation of interstate travel, 1960. Supreme Court orders Ole Miss to integrate. We shouldn't have did that, but they put their mind to something. It happened. 1962. The March on Washington, 1963. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. I'm going to read on this, right? I'm going to just go right here. The landmark 1964 Act barred discrimination based on race, color, religion, national origin in public facilities such as restaurants, theaters, or hotels. Discrimination in the hiring process will also outlaw, aka affirmative action. That led to affirmative action, Salaki. And the act established the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission to help enforce the law. Although the law attempted to legislate for fair election practices, not all the ways used to deny blacks a vote could be covered. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 will be required to address this issue comprehensively. So, Sister Cynthia G can go into her local Starbucks, can go to Ruth Chris, can go to McDonald's, can go to the wig store and not be discriminated against because of the work of the people who brought in place, all right, this Civil Rights Act of 1964, right? They're talking about the "We Shall Overcome" speech. All right, we're not gonna go into that. The voter rights in 1965. We don't believe in voting, but you can vote, sister, because of that. Right? The National Black Political Convention, 1972. Right? This happened because of the work of No Names. The federal court order to integrate Boston schools. Right? Guess what? You can go to school with the men and women that you love so much, that you set your hairstyle after because of No Names.
Hey, and look, this is another thing to point out. This is within a century of them destroying our cities. So let's keep it real, right? Black people ain't do nothing, right? That's what she's saying. Slavery ended 1865. Before the end of the 19th century, which is the 1800s. Salaki, I just heard something. But before the end of the 1800s, we had built cities. Because guess what? When we were slaves, we was doing all the work. So we already knew how to do everything. George Washington, the hell is the man name? Booker T. Washington writes about that in his book. When we were slaves, we did everything. We did all the dry cleaning. We did all of the shoe shining. We did all of the carpentry. We did all of the rearing the horses and the crop work, right? In the fields. We did everything. So when they kicked us out and we wasn't slaves no more, a lot of us either became sharecroppers or we opened our own businesses immediately. And we started our own cities because it was segregated. And they write about that in a lot of their books, how slaves immediately turned their stuff into enterprise. But what happened is the Ku Klux Klan rose up because they saw the the black people prospering. And so they couldn't have that. So they came in, they started burning cities down. They started making up fake accusations about what black people was doing, and they was burning stuff down. But we talking about within 30 years of being free from slavery, we had cities built. But we not doing that. So that's a cut, man.
Hey, now watch this. I'm only gonna get these. I'm gonna get a couple. Because you know, the sister can iron her wig onto her forehead because of, you know,
The black
inventions of black men and women. Watch this, right? 120 things you probably didn't know were created by black no names. Folding cabinet bed, Sarah Good did that. Potato chips, I bet she eat that. George Crumb. The gas mask, right? Garrett Morgan. Detective mailbox, Philip Downing. I bet she has one of those. The blood bank, if she needs a blood transfusion, God forbid she ever gets into a health crisis. Charles Richard Drew. The ironing board, Sarah Boone. Home security system, a nurse by the name of Mary Van Brown. The 3-light traffic light, I bet she uses that on a daily basis. Garrett Morgan. The refrigerated trucks that takes her food that she brings home to the grocery store. Frederick McKinley Jones. Automatic elevator doors. And Alexander Miles. No names.
Hey, Salakia, I bet you 90% of these families don't have that wealth that came from those inventions still in their family.
And that sister would say, that's their fault.
Exactly.
Let's not talk about, why it happened. Let's not talk about how the cotton gin was made by slaves to make slavery easier, and then they took that patent and sold it to other plantations. Let's not talk about that.
Correct.
Let's talk about the fact that you just don't have the patent.
That's right.
Come on, man. Come on. All right. I'm not gonna say nothing else about her wig for the rest of the day. I know I'm gonna get in trouble for that. I'll probably get, let me shut up. All right, let's go.
So how are black men creating all these businesses and still calling them $50 billion a year?
Here's the one thing that is. I want to get Hope in here real quick, Dr. Umar. I want to get Hope in here because Dr. Umar listed a plethora of black men that we know, and I'm assuming he listed the ones that we know so that we can identify and all agree that these black men have done something in terms of the fight for equality in America. How do you feel about those men that he listed, Hope? Have they done anything for the black community or not?
Most definitely, I would be ignorant to say that they haven't, right? But I think that what we're failing to realize is that when we have this conversation about what black men have done, the consequences are usually because of white supremacy and the gaze of white folks on us are that the black men are then taken away and the black women have to then
I'm sorry, how are you at this? You're talking like you're not a black man. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't focus. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Yo, like, come on, my guy. Yo, never mind.
saying those things. Dr. Umar, you're right. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that you said, but you're absolutely right. It's not about the idea of who's doing it better or the pissing match of the oppression that lives amongst black people, but it's really about working together. The problem is what I find in working together is that the black man wants to lead, whether he's acquired the gumption and the knowledge to be able to do so appropriately and effectively or not. The thing about it is when you're working together, we are a team. You get to lead this portion because you're better at it. I get to lead that portion because I'm better at it, and then we come to a common ground for both of us to succeed. But a lot of the times when we're talking about these succession plans and we're making all of these advocacy movements in order to progress the black family, the black man said, listen to me or fail, right? As if black women have nothing to contribute to that.
Hey, and Salakia, and to this point, he's dead.
Yeah. Exactly. Because when you create certain things, you threaten the power structure and you threaten the money that they can make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yo, Ramon, where you wild for that. Right. They're a woman king, all right? Let's go.
And I think that that's what the problem is. That's where the discourse needs to happen, is how do we work together so that Black men understand that we are meant to work side by side and not with me following you with my head down and saying, yes, that's our master. Because
you know how? Because you put some pants on and gird up your loins and lead like you're supposed to. That's how. That's step number one, brother. That's step number one. Stop talking like you're not a daggone man. Okay? That's number one. You're not supposed to be following Salakia. You do follow, men can follow other men. Because there's a structure and order, Salakia. Right? But you're not supposed to be following like a woman.
Right.
Right? By no means. Like, come on, man.
that is me being subservient to you in a way that I might not want to do, especially considering if you do not have the credentials, the know-how, the wherewithal, or the lived experiences to lead me in a way that I might be better suited to do in this point of our journey. And
Dr. Omar.
Well, first of all, I do not endorse any kind of a second-class citizenship role for Black women. I believe Black women have as much to offer as do Black men, so I'm not sure who the Queen is referring to, because I am not a misogynist and I do not support that type of narrative that said the Black woman's position is only to have children and to prepare food. But at the same time, I think Black women have to look at themselves, because although white supremacy has been the greatest enemy of the progress of Black men, you would also have to argue that Black women have probably been the greatest accomplice to supporting the white power structure in their destruction of Black males, i.e. the conversation we're having right now, where two intelligent Black women have yet to indict white supremacy for the role that they play in the destabilization of the lives of Black men.
Is white supremacy responsible for any of the Black man's plight at all?
Absolutely.
I like that sister because she makes sure stuff get answered.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that. No, the other brother, Sister Mina, I don't think that other brother's truly prepared. When you sitting on stage with a brother like that, like Umar, who's going to not only spit a whole bunch of big words at you, but he's going to come with some sort of facts. When it comes to history, like I said, we don't believe on his religious ideology and all of that. But when it comes to history,
right,
it's better that you keep your mouth closed. There's a lot of times I will sit on stage with Jonathan, and I'm not going to say much in certain conversations because I know he knows more about. Sometimes it's wise, hey, to keep your mouth shut. The Bible tells you that. Right. He tried to get up in there, and he didn't really hit a home run on that when he started. Oh, we open businesses. No, we talking about back then.
Yeah, right.
But he's choosing to stay silent because the brother is hitting the nail on the head, man. So he ain't gonna speak like that.
Hey, hey, quick thing too. Another thing we got to stop doing, especially as Israel, we got to stop down talking publicly our Black people and our Hispanic people when we disagree with them. Like when like the brother just beautifully said, man, we disagree with a lot of things Umar Johnson is saying and doing. But that's something within our community that we got to deal with. Like we got to stop, unless you are all out coon. You see what I'm saying? Unless you just are all out black-eyed coon, bushy tail coon. Then at that point, all right, I'm a say it publicly because that open rebuke is better than secret love. But at the same time, we got to keep it careful because we don't want to give the white power structure, as he calls it, the ammo they need to sow discord within our community. So I just wanted to point that out, all right? And Stranger Bean said, Andrew Tate is my role model. I don't know who Andrew Tate is. If you can put that in the chat. But go ahead.
I'm going to do a little bit looking up on that, but yeah, let's keep going.
It exists, and Black men have worked in tandem with white supremacy since they come in contact. And this is why I say, in the Black community, we have very disingenuous, very dishonest discussions.
Andrew Tate is an American-British boxer. I don't know what you were talking about, but okay.
Especially when it's regarding black men, because we do have a black man worshiping culture. So what we do within that culture, and Umar Johnson is showing it today, is absolve black men from any accountability for what they've done. Number one, we wouldn't be in a system of white supremacy had it not been for black men. So if you want to go all the way back.
She's about to say something. Yo, this ain't as bad as it get, but she's about to say something real stupid. Said the echo is bad. Hold on, let me take it off screen. I'm gonna reshare my screen. Y'all let me know if the echo is bad.
Yo, you might have to play that last 10 seconds again. I don't know.
Yo, she's about to say something stupider, and that's not even a word, right? She's about to say something stupider than that. Y'all let me know if the echo is going right here.
Showing it today is absolve black men from any accountability for what they've done. Number one, we wouldn't be in a system of white supremacy had it not been for black men. So is the echo going? Is it good? Y'all let me know in the chat. No.
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay, all praises. Let's keep going and hear the stupidest thing I've heard all day. And she set the ball high.
So if you want to go all the way back to history, then let's go back to history when black men were selling their own people into white supremacy. Let's go.
Yo, let me tell you something. I gotta say this. The reason this is a dumb argument is because when you make this argument, you're saying this. There's only one type of black person. That's what you're saying. You're a black person and you sold your own black person to a white person. But don't you realize that most of the ancient world was black? So they were selling other tribes and selling conquered tribes and things like that. That was a normal thing into slavery. They didn't know that the white man was going to bring them over there. Like, for instance, even Africans will tell you this. Any of the African tribes that were involved in the slave trade, any of the African tribes that were involved, they had no idea the scope that the white man was going to take slavery to. And the transatlantic slave trade even destroyed Africa as a continent. So for you to say that is just grossly stupid and dumb. Yo, like, who educated this girl?
Esau. This is the same thing you hear on the street, right?
Take that wig off and let her head breathe, man.
Hey, man, put liberate your scalp in the chat, man, for the
That's
sister.
what I'm saying, bro.
Yo, give me Exodus 11:7. Let's educate the uneducated sister real quick.
Good night.
Yo, that wig is getting to your head, man. Them chemicals, man. Y'all know that relaxer box from back in the day you used to get at Walmart with the black girl with the curly hair. She's still on that. She's still on that.
Right.
Right. Give me Exodus 11:7. Let's educate this.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that you may know how that the Lord put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
Now, if you read the story of the Bible will tell you that Moses blended in with the people of Egypt. Joseph, brothers didn't even know it was Joseph.
Hey, that's right.
Because he blended in with the people of Egypt. Well, hold on. What nationality is Moses? You know, what nationality? I forgot. What nationality was Moses? He was an Israelite, wasn't he?
That's right.
Hold on, what about Joseph? So hold on, wait. You got two Israelite men that blended in with the people of Egypt. Now, before you said the people of Egypt was white, Moses put his hand into his bosom. It turned leprous. And then when he put it back, it returned back to the color which it was before. So you know he's a black man. The Egyptians were black people. But the Bible says that the Lord put a difference between Egyptians and Israel. The Egyptians are a Hamitic nation. Well, watch what the Most High says about them, black people, sold black people into slavery. And that's why it's your fault, African-American man, that we are in the predicament we in because you did this. Watch this. Give me Amos 1. And let's start at verse 9. Right? Because this is asinine. I bet she's a Christian.
Hey, I got a precept for you too after this too.
Okay.
Amos chapter 1 and verse 9. Thus says the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom and remembered not the brotherly covenant.
Hey, Tyrus is Hamitic nations. They delivered the captivity up to Edom. The captivity was us.
Correct.
So if the Egyptians are a Hamitic nation and Tyrus is a Hamitic nation, it's showing you that the Hamitic nation sold the Israelite nation unto Edom. Huh. Check that out.
Correct.
So is it our fault? Did we sell ourselves, or were we sold?
And that's what I'm saying. She's shallow right here in this piece, because the thing is, you're saying that all black people are the same. When you use that argument, you're saying all black people on the planet Earth are the same. But you got to remember, in the ancient world, black people was the majority of the earth. Or I don't like to use the word black. Let me say melanated people was the majority of the people on the earth. So with that being said, it's possible for these people over here to be melanated and to sell these people over here into slavery. And the people who got sold into slavery, it's not their fault. That you not making sense.
Right. Keep speaking. I'll be right back.
Khan, let me get another precept, right? This is one I wanted to bring out earlier. Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 15. Because we dealing with blaming the victims of the transatlantic slave trade, which is a psychological disposition that argument was created by white people, and now our people carry that argument like a banner, and they use it against us, and now the white people don't have to use that argument no more, right? So this is Zechariah 1 and 15. I am very and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. So guess what? The Lord was a little bit displeased with us, man. He was very displeased with us. But this is Hebrew language for saying, I was displeased with you, but the heathen helped make it worse. The heathen not only did they make the Lord's displeasure worse by causing us to eat our bread defiled amongst the Gentiles, by causing us to go off into sin at every turn, but they also made the affliction worse by making it worse itself. Like the type of slavery that we went through here is unlike any slavery on the planet Earth. When they do tribal warfare in Africa, and one tribe conquers another tribe, they may kill a lot of people, or they may try to commit genocide in certain situations. In a lot of situations, when they put you in slavery, you're not a perpetual slave. It's like a servitude type thing. Like you're a servant to them, but like it's a possibility that one day you will be free, or your children will be free. But we was in the type of captivity that you grew up, you was a slave, your children were slaves, your children's children are slaves, and we don't care, man. And matter of fact, stop speaking that other language y'all speaking. That was the type of time they was on. So for you to turn around and say that that's our fault, something that we had no control over, that makes no sense. Like it really degrades the quality of the information coming out your mouth. Like we know that anything you say after that don't make sense. Right? Let me get another one. This is Deuteronomy 28. Gotta pull this one when we're talking about slavery and captivity.
I'll read it.
Yeah, get Deuteronomy 28 and verse 41.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
And that's what I was just talking about, that chattel slavery, which is something very specific to the type of slavery we was in, right? Other people groups across the earth, they didn't understand what chattel slavery was. It was no such thing as chattel slavery. So when the Hamites sold us, if you want to use that cop out, because we know that white people came and stole a lot of people too. We know this. This is documented. But if you want to use that narrative, let's use the small percentage of Hamites that sold us, right? They didn't know what type of slavery we was going into. They didn't know that. They didn't know, yo, when I sell you into this slavery, you're going to be there for 400 years. They didn't know that. They had no way of knowing that.
Right.
And then on the back of that slavery, these white people who hate dark-skinned people, they're going to become the greatest and strongest nation on the earth, and we're helping them. You think they knew that? So what is she talking about?
Right.
They did not know the length and the breadth of this type of slavery, man.
And 400 years later, they'll be in our land calling themselves white South Africans.
Yeah. And we're going to be walking around butt naked with a loincloth on, fanning them with a damn leaf, man. Y'all seen the picture of the queen in Africa getting fanned with a leaf by this African guy? Like,
come on, man. Right? And it's funny that you brought that out, right? Because Deuteronomy 28 and 41, that was a spirit. It's showing you from then on down what the result or what the slavery will be like.
correct.
Right? So, hey, you will beget sons and daughters that will go into captivity. Right? So now the stranger that's within you will get up very high, and thou shalt come down very low in verse 43. He's going to lend to you, and you shall not lend to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be the head, and you're going to be the tail. As a result of that captivity, because we're still in the land of our captivity to this day.
Correct.
And we're still borrowing to this day. Right? Let's keep going. It says, therefore, let me see. Verse 49. No, I'm going to do first verse 48. Therefore thou shalt serve, Salakia, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Right? The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. Now, when he brought it out in verse 41, you will beget sons and daughters, and you will not enjoy them. Right? This is not one, because guess what? This is not talking about one people selling their own people into slavery. Correct. It couldn't be that. Because we were scattered to the four corners. We all suffer from in some way, shape, or form, some of these daggone curses from 15 to 68. Right? So how in the world can one person, how can you sell your own people into slavery? That makes no sense.
It don't.
Right? Now, let me show you how much Israel loves the Bible. We went from 91 followers to 64 followers in 3 minutes, and we started reading the Bible. Israel, y'all got to do better, dog. From 91, we had 61. From when we was reading the Bible. Now, when I was talking about her wig, we was at 80-something people. Israel love folly, man. Y'all don't love the Bible. Y'all love folly, man. I'm going to have to get on y'all. Y'all love folly, man. Let's keep going.
Go back into history when 16 years off the plantation, Black men were worried about a war being waged on them. They were worried about getting access to white women. That's what you were worried about. And it's interesting. There's a reason why I feel like Umar focused mostly on me and Hope's attitudes, and it's because he can't accurately answer the question. He mentioned names, not accomplishments. And the reason being is because
I think he mentioned
she's stupid because after she said it the first time, both of the brothers, well, this brother on the right attempted. Umar named accomplishments. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
those names specifically because the accomplishments of those people don't have to be explained.
Exactly.
That's a cut. Hey, yo, their name is attached to their accomplishments. That's how connected their accomplishments are.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. All right, let's keep going.
Right, but those accomplishments are also accomplishments that I've heard Umar Johnson speak negatively about, specifically the civil rights movement and how damaging it was to Black people. But
now watch this. When it comes to that, If you're educated, we understand. And this is why, like he said, she tries to put everything in a vacuum. She tries to talk about the result and not the history. Because when you look at it, during the civil rights movement, during those times, back in the mid-90s, we had our own civilizations, like the brother Jonathan brought out. We had our own stores. We had our own schools. We had our own judges, our own doctors, our own bus stations, our own airports.
That's right.
We had our own everything. What was the civil rights movement about? It was about integration. What came from integration? What happened after integration? The destruction of our own economic system.
Correct.
But you so stupid. Hey man, Cat Williams said ain't nothing worse than a smart dumb nigga. Sometimes you get so educated, you end up stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Because you that educated, you a psychologist and all that stuff, and you just skipped over history. Right? Like, come on. That doesn't make any sense. Right? How could you just skip over history? And the one thing that tore down our civilization of us doing for ourselves. Right? Now watch this. All right, I'm gonna get a quote, right? From Martin Luther King, we know this quote. All right. We all know this quote. What is there a video on this? I don't know if there's a video of him actually saying. I think there is a video. Let's see. Let's see. Hey, say something real quick while I find what I'm looking for.
All right. Hey, that it's funny because like I said, this is not an argument that she's coming up with. And that's the reason why everything she says is incoherent with the information that already came out. Because she's taking this argument and she already made her mind up what her argument is. She don't care about the information. So when she keeps saying that, the last thing she just said was that Umar Johnson wasn't answering the question directly. But what she's not understanding is that he did answer the question directly, and it actually proves his point, because the fact that Black people have been doing stuff this whole time and we still in the state that we in, as compared to the Asian community who has, they got Chinatowns in all the major cities like San Francisco, New York, LA. They got Chinatowns in all these major cities. And those Chinatowns, they taking care of each other, man. They got their own jobs. They got their own city. They got their own food, all of that. And you don't see crime and all that type of stuff in their neighborhoods. The reason our neighborhood is so opposite of that is because it's forces fighting against us, man. And that's all we're trying to point out. And we with Umar on this one. All right.
Right now, I'm gonna play this little clip. It's about 3 minutes long, but I want to watch this real quick, right? Because she doesn't know what history is. She doesn't know. She doesn't know that the dream of desegregation actually was a detrimental thing to our community. But when you are a person that loves to dwell with your oppressor, you hate the idea of doing and living for yourself. Let's read. Let's listen a little bit.
One day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, I'm not one to lose hope. I keep on hoping. I still have faith in the future. But I've had to analyze many things over the last few years, and I would say over the last few months. I've gone through a lot of soul-searching and agonizing moments. And I've come to see that we have many more difficult days ahead, and some of the old optimism was a little superficial, and now it must be tempered with a solid realism. And I think the realistic fact is that we still have a long, long way to go, and that we are involved in a war on Asian soil, which, if not checked and stopped, and poison the very soul of our nation. I'm not going to say that all of our problems will be solved if the war in Vietnam is ended, but I do say that the war makes it infinitely more difficult to deal with these problems. When a nation becomes obsessed with the guns of war, it loses its social perspective, and programs of social uplift suffer. This is just a fact of history, so that we do face many more difficulties as a result of the war. It's much more difficult to really arouse a conscience during a time of war.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna play the end of it. This shows you, for the brothers, man, what sacrifice actually does. This man didn't have a chance to be young, in my opinion. He was in college as an early teenager, multiple degrees and a reverend at an early age, and then he went on a fight for his people. Every aspect of that fight we might not agree with. But listen to how this brother talks. Look at the brother. He said he was in his 30s at the time. He was 50. Right? This is what sacrifice comes with, man. To my brothers, are you willing to make this sacrifice, man? I'm gonna let y'all dwell on that.
There is something about a war like this that makes people insensitive. It dulls the conscience. It strengthens the forces of reaction. And it brings into being bitterness, hatred, and violence. I think the biggest problem now is that we got our gains over the last 12 years at bargain rate, so to speak. It didn't cost the nation anything. In fact, it helped the economic side of the nation, integrate lunch counters and public accommodation. It didn't cost the nation anything to get the right to vote established. Now we're confronting issues that cannot be solved without costing the nation billions of dollars. Now, I think this is where they're getting our greatest resistance. They may put it on many other things, but we can't get rid of the slums and poverty without it costing the nation something. I feel that nonviolence is really the only way that we can follow, because violence is just so self-defeating. A riot ends up creating many more problems for the Negro community than it solves. You can, through violence, burn down a building, but you can't establish justice. You can murder a murderer, but you can't murder through violence. You can murder a hater, but you can't murder hate. And what we are trying to get rid of is hate and injustice and all of these other things. Continue though.
And I think when we listening to this, it's a good thing that you played this, because he started off by saying what he said, that we integrated he felt like the dream turned out to be a nightmare because he integrated himself into a burning house. Now kind of he's shifting and saying that they're trying to fight hate, not the hater, not the person that hates them. That's kind of what he's saying. And so that's kind of where we depart, because we understand that, as the scripture says, that they got a perpetual hatred, man, in the book of Hebrews.
Right.
Their hate cannot be separated from them. And he didn't understand that. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good because, like we said, the brother, he made a big sacrifice, man. He put himself on the front lines. It was a lot of things we may not agree with, but I know all of us are thankful for the fact that he put himself on the front lines and did that work, man.
Right. I'm gonna play the end of it because I'm glad you pointed that out. Because I wanted to show the shift. This is where we do disagree. Right. That's that Christianity that was coming out.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? He read the Bible, but he didn't understand that the people that he was trying to kill the hate out of couldn't happen.
Hey, and Ray Monica, that stress he was going through too made him look older. Same thing with I'm Too Busy. Like, yo, the brother, you got to remember, before this interview, his house was already bombed with his children in it.
Mm-hmm.
They was burning crosses in his front yard and bombing his house, man. So, hey, that stress get on you, man.
Right. Think about you in Montgomery, Alabama in the middle of the night, and you just see this light out of nowhere, and it's a cross flaming in your front yard.
Yeah.
Think about how you got to feel with a Molotov cocktails thrown through your window. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. Right. Yahushua was a young brother with white hair. We got to think about it. Hey, man, the jury's out on Obama, right? Because I don't know. I don't know. Who knows, right? But look at him, year 2008. Look at him, year 2016, right?
Yeah.
Let him finish, and we're gonna finish that other video.
Long night of man's inhumanity to man.
When we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Right? So, hey, man, he tried, right? He tried. But this man right here is a no-name, Salaki. This man right here is a no-name, according to her, right? But he felt like his dream became a nightmare because he integrated his people into a burning house. And he didn't know that was in the Bible. His house is a burning house, right? Let's keep going real quick. And I'm probably going to do a part 2 on this. Reason being is because this view, to be fair, is from the side of Umar Johnson. This is on his channel, right? We can go from her side as well. And we're going to dissect that too. All right? So let's keep going.
But now he wants to sit here and say the very people who accomplished that were accomplishing something beneficial when, in his own opinion, that wasn't beneficial and did more harm to the community than good. So I think that because we're having such a dishonest discussion where Black men don't want to take accountability for what they've done, they want to be the victims of society, but then they want submission from the women. The bottom line is I'm not willing to deflect from the fact that, number one, Black men are the greatest non-white contributors to white supremacy. Let's just be real. White supremacy couldn't even exist without Black men's compliance. They're always uplifting whiteness, biracial children, and trying to assimilate. And that's why I went back to the notion of the only time Black men truly feel like there's a war against them is when they feel like they're being punished for something white men do. At the end of the day, y'all drop the ball. You're blaming white supremacy on your failures. We already know there's oppression, but Black women are double oppressed. We have more barriers to face. You have male privilege in a patriarchal system and you can't even get it right.
Well, Dr. Umar, I think we all know your stance on interracial marriages.
Absolutely, but let me also
so please acknowledge what the rest of what Cynthia G has said.
Absolutely. I'm not sure where Sister Cynthia took history class, but if you know anything about the transatlantic slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade was a European enterprise.
I'm talking about the sub-Saharan. I'm talking about the sub-Saharan slave trade. You should go look into it.
Excuse me.
She's an idiot.
Yeah, she's dumb.
She said, I'm not talking about the transatlantic slave trade. I'm talking about the sub-Saharan slave. What? Yo, now that's a whole nother lesson. Look up the sub-Saharan slave trade.
Because she tried to cut him and try to say, oh, no, I'm talking about when Black people sold Black people. But this is the cut. We're talking about how it affects us today. How does the sub-Saharan slave trade translate into this conversation? Like, yo, she mad. She crazy.
Yo, that's the dumbest. Yo, I'm looking for my other Bible.
Hey, I want to bring this out real quick, right?
Go ahead.
So she said the burning house precept. Now, it's not necessarily a precept that says it's a burning house. But we know what the prophecy says about this place. Let's get Revelation chapter 18 and verse 1.
That's where I was going, bro. Hold on, let me get my other Bible because my old Bible doesn't have Revelation 18 in it no more because it ripped out. All my pages ripped out. Salaki.
Brother, taken away from the scriptures, man.
Hey, man. Had that Bible since I was like 9. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory.
Come on.
And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Hey, and look, we pray for the day that we get to see this. We pray for the day we get to see this, but this is what we know has to happen, right? And he was trying to, because he didn't understand, and I guarantee you this is why white people got behind him so hard during that Million Man March. But he didn't understand that this had to happen to this nation. He didn't understand that this was the nation that the Lord was talking about. Come on.
Come, verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy.
That's what we was just talking about. Didn't the French get rich through the slave trade?
Facts.
Didn't the Portuguese get rich? Didn't the Spanish get rich? Didn't the, you see what I'm saying? The Dutch, the English, the British, or whatever the hell they call.
Mm-hmm.
All of these people got rich off of the delicacies of this machine. Come on.
Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
Hey, you see that? And that's what we were supposed to be doing. Not trying to get with them. We're supposed to be going the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we go the other way, now the Lord can destroy this place and we get out clean. But now that we all mixed in with them, now it's got to be a slow process. I got to weed the people out. Then I got to test, I got to run my people through the fire, make sure they really with me. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of where we at. All right.
Let me go to verse 18, because here's what I was going to bring out, right? Revelation 18:18, it says, no, do I want to start at 18?
Yeah, you can start at 18. That's nice.
All right, let's just do 18, right? It says, I'm going to start at 17. For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught. It's still talking about Babylon.
That's right.
And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off. And they cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? Right? So let's keep going. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Right? So through the scriptures, we can see how this house is, in fact, a burning house. That's right. Through our precepts, we get understanding. So she says she's not talking about the transatlantic slave trade. She's talking about the sub-Saharan slave trade. Salakia, brothers and sisters, we are not going to be able to do no Q&A tonight. This was the spirit, man. It had to be the spirit, because I put Coolio up there. Hey, rest in peace to the brother. You know what I'm saying? I got the sheriff up there who said some comments. We might bring that out another day. You know what I'm saying? Brett Favre. I just wanted to show how they dogged Michael Vick, no pun intended, for fighting dogs, but this gets swept on the rug, and certain people want to cover it and whatnot. I wanted to show how Esau still hates you, but we got to show how we got to stop hating each other first. So I'm gonna let this rock, and once we get done with this, we're not gonna do a Q&A. We're gonna shut it down. You can get your Q&As done tomorrow on the Sabbath class. All right, let's keep going.
Excuse me.
You addressed me.
May I finish?
Go look into the sub-Saharan slave trade where black men were trading their women and children for alcohol and tobacco.
May I finish?
Go ahead, Dr. Umar.
And mind you, that didn't happen during the sub-Saharan slave trade. It happened through the transatlantic slave trade, where Africans sold Israelites into slavery for muskets and all different types of things like that. But because you got cut, you try to say no, it's a sub-Saharan slave trade. Like, come on. Let's just be real. Just take your cut like a woman and just keep going.
The transatlantic slave trade was a European enterprise. It was not an African enterprise. Although there were some chiefs who participated in it, by no means did they control the direction and extension of the transatlantic slave trade. So that—
Did we not hear the brother Giannis just say that? Is that not what the brother just said? I just wanted to point that out.
That's number one. Number two, Black men resisted enslavement, not only on the shores of Africa, but right here in America. We celebrate Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Gabriel Prosser. There's literally hundreds of documented attempts by African men to liberate not only themselves, but their women and their children. So to act like we just sat there and we're complicit in our own oppression is absolutely ridiculous. The other point I want to clarify for your information, with Cynthia G, you've never ever heard me condemn the civil rights movement. The good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is a hero of mine. And despite me being a Pan-African nationalist, I take issue with other Black nationalists who do want to dismiss Dr. King's accomplishment. The civil rights movement was necessary because it removed a psychological scar that suggested of racial inferiority. So you've never heard me deride the civil rights movement. I support it, although I took certain issues with it. The bottom line is, when Black women, Black girls, Black boys listen to this conversation we're having today, they're going to be confused because they hear two brothers speaking of a greater context to the problems that affect Black men, and you hear two Black women who want to keep scapegoating Black men while ignoring the historical and contemporary systemic challenges that are constantly placed in our way. I'm gonna say this and be quiet, Sister Tammy. I gotta give you this. There was a recent piece of research, Tammy, that came out, and the research said a Black man with a master's degree, they did a study. They had white males who had come out of prison apply for jobs. They had Black men with master's degrees, Sister Tammy, apply for the jobs. And guess what? The white males with prison history and no education were called back more than 75% of the time than Black men with no prison history and a master's degree.
I'm aware of that. I am aware of that.
Now, the sister backed it up. She said, I'm aware of that. Now, the question would have to be now, what did the Black man do to deserve that? What did the Black man do for that to happen? Or is that systemic racism put in place, right, to keep one people above the other, right? I don't even think she's going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. Let's see.
Of that survey. I am. Hope, I saw you give Dr. Umar the side eye.
It's only because I can't, you have 1,001 clips on the internet, but I know for a fact that one of the things that I was offended about in doing research or just seeing you on the internet is that you have definitely talked about your disdain for some of the practices of Dr. Martin Luther King. So to sit here and gaslight us as if most of us have not seen.
That's not true. Find the clip. Find the clip.
Well, Dr. Omar, you yourself said you had, you yourself just seconds ago said you did find some things in the civil rights movement problematic.
But I supported the movement and I still support it.
Dr. King was not a Pan-Africanist, but one of my greatest heroes. Dr. King knew it was Garveyism to get back. He was moving in that direction. He said, Malcolm is gone, Garvey is gone, I got to hold it down. I got to hold it down. And he held it down, brothers and sisters.
Now, mind you, all the views that are represented by the video that's playing is not the views of Sons of Thunder Israelites. We ain't saying that Garveyism is the way. No, the law, statutes, and commandments is the way, all right, to get out of this predicament that we're in. But he did cut the sisters trying to put that on. We almost done.
That's why whenever I go to Atlanta, I got to pay homage to the King. 39 years old. At 32, he was the unquestioned leader of Black America at 32 years old. You can't say nothing to me about no Dr. King.
Everyone supported it.
Every time I'm in Atlanta, I have never been
as a Black man, as a Black person in
If
America.
we're going to have the conversation, let us be honest. Let's not misrepresent.
You're the only one not being honest anymore. You're not being honest.
Find the clip. You don't have to argue about it.
Hey, we'll skip through a little bit.
Those things have been said, and you know that you've said controversial things. Once again, we see you moving the goalposts when you find that.
Controversial according to who?
A commercial break. Right back.
Yeah, that's it. I can't even listen to that thing speak anymore. All right. But hey, man, we gotta do better, Israel. We gotta do a little bit better, man. You see this, man. Let's get out of denial. And unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? And brothers be like, yo, you get on the sisters a lot. I'm gonna keep it real. That's all out of love, but we gotta make a lot of changes. Right? Our sisters gotta make a lot of changes. Because here's the thing, when we come into this truth, right? Us brothers, we the majority of us, let's put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that we have a role that we have to play. The majority of us understand we have to hit these streets and teach the word. The majority of us understand we got to put down a certain lifestyle and pick up another one, right? The majority of us understand that, right? But a lot of our sisters like to make excuses for certain things based off of their westernized mindset. And this sister is a grand representation of that. Take hold of your whole entire culture, not just the part that you like. Right? Take part of your whole entire culture, not just the part that you like. Right? We want to be an Israelite in this, and this, and we want to be a Christian in that. We can't do that, man. We have to let these mindsets go. Right? We got to let it go. Quit making excuses, right? Stop trying to use the past to blame brothers from what's going on. And this is really a great example of delusion. That sister is delusional. For you to get online and say that men, those great men back in the civil rights movement days, were only trying to assimilate with the white man and sleep with white women while you wearing a white woman's hair on your head is asinine. How you can even sit there, look in the mirror, comb your thing over your forehead, and then get online and say that is ridiculous. You should be 100% natural saying that. We had two delusional people. Then for the other one, the other brother who's trying to assimilate to being a woman, saying that the black man, only thing he's worried about doing is assimilating with white men, but you're trying to assimilate to be a woman, it's asinine. And we got to quit letting these excuses rock. And sisters, you got to quit listening to other sisters do this type of stuff. Because y'all be cheerleading. Y'all be cheerleading for this type of stuff. Yeah, girl, I understand that. Because and you know good away you don't understand. You know what they're saying is crazy. Y'all got to start holding each other accountable. We do it. We do it all the time. So sisters got to start doing that too. I understand you the weaker vessel. I understand all of that. That doesn't mean you turn a blind eye to stupidity. All right? That is ridiculous. All right? Sister J. Love said the sister was out of line with a poor judgment or poor argument, Salaki. But I think she was asking what are black men doing today for our people and black women. I'm going to tell you something. We on the street corners every weekend teaching our people to love themselves for who they are, teaching them to come back to their culture, quit assimilating to the ways of white men and white women, and to pick up their own culture, their own God, their own languages, their own so-called holidays, their own way of dressing, their own way of raising their people, their own education system. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Our fight is not in politics. And this is why I go back to what I said when women say, oh, what y'all doing is not enough. La-ah.
That's right.
La-ah. Y'all think our fight is in politics, and it's not. Because if our fight was in politics, we would have won already.
Hey, that's right. Our
fight is not in politics. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. This is what we're doing. Go ahead, King.
No, I don't got nothing to say.
All right, come.
Everything you saying is spot on.
All right. So we gotta just because you don't see brothers fighting in Congress for we've tried that. I said this before and I'll say it again. We've tried higher education. We've tried nonviolence. We've tried assimilation. We've tried integration. We've tried peace. We've tried marching. We've tried violence. We've tried everything except for the Most High God's law, statutes, and commandments. When are we going to try that?
That's right.
When are we gonna try that? You got brothers risking their lives on the street corners, right? Some of our brothers in camps getting shot at in the streets, right? Teaching our brothers and sisters how to treat each other and how to be nationalists, Israelite nationalists. That's what we're doing, but that's not respected because that's not the status quo. What's respected is the way that Esau teaches us how to fight against systematic oppression.
Correct.
And what she just said is absolutely correct. The Most High is the answer, and we're teaching our people how to get back to the Most High. That's what brothers are doing right now. But that type of sister, she's not going to respect that because she only sees through the lens of Esau. Correct. She doesn't see through the lens of the Most High power. So the only way we can win is through something that is, what's the word I'm looking for? Through something that is carnal, right? There's something that's not going to be here forever, right? The law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God is going to stand. This judicial system and the ways of America will fall. Thus save the Most High God. All right. So I'm done. You got anything to add on before we depart, brother?
That was a beautiful class. All right, y'all stay tuned, man. Hey, don't be looking out so hard for the folly, man. Y'all tune in to lessons like this because this is going to help you sharpen your sword and know how to deal with everyday conversations that you might have at the barbershop or something like that.
Right. Hey, when we get taught at SOT, like you don't have to bogart people with 1,000 precepts to prove your point. You can have a conversation that makes sense. And then when the time comes for you to bring out a precept, you bring out a precept. We brought out, 3-4 precepts?
That's right.
We brought out about 3-4 precepts in Deuteronomy 28, Amos 1. You brought out a precept in, I had to slide off real quick for a second. What you brought out what?
Zechariah 1:15. Yeah. You brought out a couple. That's about it though. A handful of
11 and 7, Revelation 18. Yep. And the point was proven. All right, so all praise to the Most High, man. This was a good class through the Spirit. We was just expecting just to do a little dialogue about current events. We didn't get into it, but it's all good. Just know that Esau still hates you. All right, he can't get away. All right, so tune into our weekly classes, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursday, and Friday. All right, Friday you can get your questions answered after every class. All right, if you have a question, you can call into the conference call. All right, every Friday at 8:30. When you get on the class, the Q&A is after class is over. All right. The number 605-472-5308. The code is 65372#. All right. Mute your phone so you can get your questions answered after the class. All right. Make sure to tune in to Sabbath Morning Brew on Saturday morning at 11. And make sure you subscribe to our various camp locations. Watch their videos and keep supporting the brothers as we do the work of the Lord. All right. And with that, we are the sons of Thunder Israelites. It's our heart's prayer and desire that all Israel be saved. Shalom.
Shalom.